When you think from fear, what do you get? When you think from resentment and anger, what do you get? What do you produce? How do you move about the world? When you think from lack, limitation, victimhood, what do you get? And interestingly, when you think from the ego, what do you get? And this comes back to thought. So how do we get to a higher level of co-creation using thoughts and things that are deeper than thoughts? And I think the first path to getting there is aligning with unity principles. I think aligning with unity principles is really good spiritual medicine. And for some of you, this may be a repeat of the principles, but it's never a waste of time to review how these principles apply in this situation. So principle one, God is all there is. This is the way pretty much every prayer in all of unity and religious science and agape begins. After maybe some perfunctory steps, the main step is God is in everything. The one power, the one presence, active as the universe and as my life. We say it each week. So this first principle is the foundation of everything. And the source of all doesn't know anything about lack, and neither should we. So if we are aware of God's source spirit, that's a good foundation. And next we need to partner with what I'm calling the partner principle to the first principle. And it's the second principle. The second principle is roughly, I am divine. We are divine. Basically, we are made up of all the qualities of God. And the principle really means, in a word, it means unity. It means unification with source. And it means that for every calling that you have, your supply is given. For every calling that you have, the supply is given. And our job is to just remember who we really are. And I talked a number of months ago about us going through this thing where we feel that we are it. We're born, we are it, but we forget we're it. And at some point we have to remember degree by degree that we are it. And that's a lot of work. And that's why we're here. That's one of the reasons why we're here. Because the more that we remember that we are it, the more that we can become powerful co-creators. Myrtle Fillmore, when she saw the lecture in Kansas City by E.B. Weeks, she remembered to remember. Someone like said, wake up, Myrtle, you are a child of God. And she used that vision to create unity. And there's so many more stories out there like that. She remembered to remember her divinity. So I think about the first principle like this. Think about my right hand. And the second principle is like this. And you put the principles together and it's so much more powerful. They are, you know, there's the saying, we're made in the image and likeness of God. Here's God as all there is. And here's us forgetting that we're God. When we do this, to me, it's a symbol of unification and us remembering the divine. Thank you for those hearts, Connie. So the more solid you are in the understanding of this thing, the more easy it is to leap into co-creation. And this is where I come into the third principle, which is we create our reality with our thinking and more. And I'll explain what that and more is. But let's just talk about this for a second. This whole movement is called New Thought. We hear the words New Thought a lot. And it's interesting to think about that. Some might say, change your thinking and change your life. So somehow our thoughts have to change. But it isn't easy work, because if it were easy work, we wouldn't be here. We would read the book and go on to the next thing. It's work it's a lifelong work, but it's worth every bit of the journey. And so somehow we need to unlearn what we've learned. We need to unlearn it all. And I think one of the best ways to do that is to go deeper than thought, to go deeper than thought. And I think it follows what we believe about the quantum reality, that it's all energy and that we are pure energy and the universe is responding to that pure energy. And so that's why I'm calling this resonance. Thoughts are motivated. I don't think thoughts are the first place that things happen. I think that energy and vibration is the first place where things happen. And it's not an empty vibration. It's a feeling tone. It's a resonance. It's an energy. It's an intention, but it goes beyond words. All of these things go beyond words and they're beneath the words. They happen before the words. So when we apply resonance to our spiritual practices, I think everything changes. Let's talk about prayer. We believe in affirmative prayer at Unity. And when you learn prayer, at least I heard this is true in Unity, even though it wasn't as stressed, but in religious science, when you learn about prayer, they continuously talk about two things: technique and fire. And you can have the technique all day. You can have the steps right all day. You can say the right things all day. But if you don't have the fire, the prayer is empty. So what is that fire? The fire is you feeling in your bones that it's true. It's you holding a vision in your mind that goes beyond technique and words. It's your emotion. It's the fire within you. It's your divine spark coming to life. And that's what makes the affirmative prayer work. And I believe that the universe listens to resonance more than it listens to your perfect technique. It doesn't care about technique. It doesn't care about technique. So Michael Beckwith said this about resonance. Michael Beckwith said, do not lower your vibration for circumstances, people, or situations. You have a mandate to come in and lift your vibration and govern your vibration so you can be the unique emanation of God that you are. So when we pray from resonance. When we set intentions, set them from resonance. When we meditate on something, there's many reasons for meditation, many types of meditation, but if you're meditating on a particular aspect of something that you want to bring into your life, meditate from resonance. So that means, instead of thinking, I want $1 million, you go for the feeling tone. You try instead, I feel secure. What does that feel like? I have options. All my needs are met. And you feel good because you have it. And you feel and know that it's already yours. And the universe will bring it to you. So as a brief example, many of you know about, my years of drumming. I didn't hold a kind of a thesis in my head. I was following this thing that energized a 25-year journey that would make me get in a car by myself and drive all the way to LA for a drum lesson. I was on fire. I was following the call. I loved drumming. And I loved the spiritual aspect of drumming because I would sit there and I didn't have to play a note with the drum teacher. I said, tell me about the spiritual basis of this rhythm. Tell me about sacred drumming. And then, I began to realize that drums were a spiritual vehicle for me. And I had the same resonance for spirituality that I did for drumming. And so my life attracted a spiritual vocation to me in very unusual ways. It was grace. It was grace. So you don't need a thesis. You don't necessarily need the words. You need something that's beyond words. And so when the universe gets to respond to your feeling tone and you show up for your vision, for your resonance, for your feeling tone, for that intention that is, maybe it's a picture, right? I've had many pictures in my mind, and those pictures seem a lot more indelible than a set of words. But what is it to you? You know, each one of us has our intelligence, our particular type of intelligence. Some people have word intelligence. Some people have music intelligence. Some people have body intelligence. So maybe it's a feeling in your body, you know. But for me, I'm a visual learner, so it's a picture that's like a snapshot. So I'll share before I end. I'm going to share one more very fun note. And today is August 4th. 5 years ago, exactly today, we moved into the facility, the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Los Gatos. And I remember a few of you were there on the journey. We were searching for centers and churches, and we visited one, and it was like, oh gosh, this one doesn't have air conditioning. This is, oh, it's way too big. Look at that choir loft. It's a mile away from the pews. And, you know, it just doesn't feel right. But we didn't have like a specific list of things that we needed. It was kind of like the feeling tone. And then we went to another place where it was just all crowded and cluttered. And instead of a door on the bathroom, there were beads on the bathroom. That you can't do that, right? But we went to the other, this is like Goldilocks. We went to the Unitarian Universalist place, and it was just right. It was just right. But it matched a vision that we were carrying that we really didn't have words to express. But we just, you know, we knew. I mean, there's certain things, of course, you know, we had to have a parking lot, but it so matched our resonance. It so matched our feeling tone, and it went beyond words. So that's the law of resonance. That attraction is so powerful when you put it into play.
Things my family did. I'm not the voices in my head. I'm not the pieces of the brokenness inside. I am light. 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 I'm not the mistakes that I have made, or any of the things that cause me pain. I am not the pieces of a dream I've left behind. I am light, light. I am 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 not the color of my eyes. I am not the skin on the outside. I am not my age. I am not my race. My soul inside. I am light. Light, oh light. I am light. I am light. In this very room, there's quite enough love for all of us. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for all of us. And there's quite enough hope, quite enough power to chase away any gloom. For God's love, God's love is in this very room. In this very room. In this very room, there's quite enough love for all of us. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for all of us. And there's quite enough hope, quite enough power to chase away any gloom. For God's love, God's love